It's probability data, where we focus on niche data to help you find your next off-market deal. On this video, I'm quite excited because I want to introduce you to a different asset class. I know many of our customers are real estate wholesalers, but we have folks in real estate all over, right? And again, real estate is such a big topic, and there's a lot of intricacies that I'm myself learning as we run this business. But I wanted to introduce you to, again, other different kind of asset classes. And in this case, if you're a traditional investor, most likely you've been investing in single family properties, right? But I wanted to show you that there's other type of asset classes like vacant land that you can target. Things like non-residential vacant land as well, commercial as well, warehousing, industrial, etc. I mean, there's a lot, right? But just to give you an example, some of my customers are making a lot of money just from flipping vacant land, right? Think of if you're outside of major cities such as San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, etc., right? There's a lot of acreage available in Texas, right? And obviously each piece of land has a specific use. I'll give you a quick example from Harris County. So each piece of parcel or land has a specific usage, right? So let's say if you're interested in creating warehouses for storage, right? You can literally type that, right? Mini warehouse, highest rise. This would be the land use code. So just because you see a piece of land that's vacant, it doesn't mean that you can build a house, right? Because a lot of them have a assigned code for usage, right? So for example, they could be vacant land, right? But it could be vacant industrial land, exempt land, which could be government, etc., like for utilities. And again, there's a lot more, right? But once you identify your niche, let's say you do want to invest in small industrial land, right? Or you want to do mobile home parks as well, right? It just depends on which asset class you want to focus on. And when it comes to the money aspect, right? If you had experience with wholesaling, well, sometimes it's actually easier to, one, the amount of time is gonna spend to research the land, right? Usually depends on what we're doing, right? On this particular one, I was looking into warehouses. But if we spend out, right, and this is a really good site, by the way, Regrid. I have no affiliation with this, but I use it quite a bit to look at this sort of land. It does a really good job in showing land parcels. But let's say if we're looking at this particular land parcel here, again, each one of them has a specific land usage, right, or zoning. So let's say if you are still looking into development, right? As you can see here, it looks like this development is continuously to spread out, right? So if you think about, again, big cities that are still expanding, it may be a really good opportunity to get a hold of the vacant land, right? And maybe if you have buyers that are developers, this could be a good opportunity to make a couple of, a few millions of dollars, right? So again, my point was that if you have experience with wholesaling, right, it's not very different, and it's a lot of times it's easier to do vacant land, right? Again, as long as it's appropriate to continue building housing, right? So you don't want to end up in a vacant land that's not suitable for housing. A lot of them may be around agriculture, or they may be in flood zones, or they may not have access to a frontage road. So it's also another thing. Some of them may be locked behind other ones. And unless you have a frontage road, then that makes it really difficult to sell it, right? And yeah, so I wanted to make a quick video on it because I think many of you, as we're starting 2026, maybe you're not having a lot of success with single family duplex, that type of asset class. And again, many of the investors, or a lot of you which are new to the industry, right? Maybe you're watching your favorite wholesaler gurus, right? and they're just trying to get you to buy list, use the same software, affiliate programs, all that good stuff. But in reality, a lot of them are not doing wholesaling, or they may be just selling you their courses, right? And a lot of you end up being frustrated because all the lists that you're calling, 20 other people have that watch the same, prop stream video, etc., have already called. So, my point here is I want to educate you and just kind of get you additional exposure on this, right? For us, obviously, we're able to pull all this data, right? So I'll give you an example of some of the data we pull. These ones are for mini warehouses or high rise, right? Even if you're, I don't know, let's say you're doing drop shipping or something similar, right? A lot of times, maybe if you don't want to do the actual drop shipping, maybe you can build a warehouse so you can store items for other sellers, that type of thing. Or if you live in an area in which there's a lot of apartments, maybe that would be a good place to create a self-storage unit, that type of thing, right? But again, just giving you an example of some areas that which warehousing is available here. As you can see around here, there's vacant pieces of land. And again, a lot of times, because there's, especially in places like Harris County, where sometimes there's no zoning laws and whatnot, it may be a lot easier. And again, Texas has a lot of land available, right? Again, this is Houston, but when it comes to San Antonio, like Bexar County or other counties, there's a lot. So, let's look at Bexar County just to give you an idea. So anything outside of specifically San Antonio or off the I-10, right? I mean, it can be as creative as you want. Sometimes there's parking, right? Or for example, I-10 is one of the major highways, right? When you get out of, the I-10 here, here it goes. So there's tons and tons of land, right? And obviously, there's a lot of even 18-wheelers, right? Maybe you can grab a piece of land here and create a parking lot, right, for 18-wheelers so you can spend over the night, gated, secure, right? Again, there's a lot of expansion here, as you can see, and it only continues on and on and on and on, right? So again, I mean, it could be as simple as pulling the list, which is, the vacant land is still owned by an individual, right? Because just like many of you, a lot of land developers have already bought many parcels of land, right? Maybe they bought it 5-10 years ago, but again, I'm noticing a shift in a lot of investors as well that are focusing on this area, and it makes a lot of sense because your spreads are going to be a lot bigger. And again, it's simpler to analyze at times, and obviously when you're looking at the MLS for vacant land and whatnot, it makes it a lot easier, right? So let's say, let's look at Zillow. Let's see, Zillow San Antonio vacant land. So again, a lot of those are being sold for a lot, right? This one's not showing me vacant lands. Especially outside, right? Many of them are in the millions, specifically because, so this is a good example. So anyways, just wanted to give you an idea of the potential spreads, right? And again, there's a lot of land uses, right? Maybe you want to help someone with a gas station. Maybe it's a power wash station, like a car wash, right? Or it just depends. But what I would do is I would do a little bit of research on your county and the land use, right? So you get you an idea. And then maybe, any real estate or your county clerk, your local county appraisal district, you can pull a lot of these parcels. Or you can reach out to us and we can also help you generate a list, right, as well. We also do, we work with individual records as well. And obviously, as a reminder, LSP data, we also have, code violations platform, county, think of pre-foreclosures, tax delinquencies, and whatnot, right? And just as a reminder, we're niche data, and that's what gives us the advantage. We're data experts. We know what we're doing, right? We're not your favorite gurus just trying to sell you an affiliate program for, PropStream or ListSource or any other, platforms that are really great, but everyone's flooding there and everyone's pulling the same list. So we hear it all, right? We hear all the complaints, and obviously, each platform has their own user base and whatnot. But anyways, I'll leave it at that, and just wanted also to remind you that we have our free Skool community. I'll leave a link in the video description, so come join us, ask any questions. We share, our projects. We try to assist you as well in however we can, especially if you're serious about real estate. And if you're just getting started as well, come and we can answer any questions. But wanted to sort of start the new year by introducing you to other options, right, outside of traditional single family property investment. And hopefully that helps you a lot, or at least it opens some thoughts so you can start doing your research. And whatever you end up specializing in, I would say give it at least a year, and you're going to find a lot of success, because a lot of my customers focus on very specific things like industrial land or warehousing, etc. So anyways, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching.